We just walked the Camino de Madrid, starting in Madrid and ending in Sahagún, which is where the route joins the Camino Frances. We walked the trail in 14 days at the end of September and beginning of October. And the cool thing is I did the whole thing in a 12-liter running vest. I'm going to share with you how I packed in the smallest bag I've ever brought. If you watch to the end, I'm going to share with you what are the things I took out and how did I save weight and what did I cut to actually make it into the small bag. I loved being ultralight on the Camino. I felt light, I felt free. I could walk really far because my bag wasn't heavy. So maybe a running vest is right for you if you're looking for a little bit of a packing challenge. Keep watching, I'll share all my pros and cons. I'm Lainey, and this is Days We Spend. Up first, the vest, or the backpack. I mean, it's kind of like a backpack with a running vest attachment. This is the Salomon Active Skin 12 liters for women specific cut. I picked this brand and this one because I liked the way the pockets functioned and I really liked the system of how much stretchy mesh pockets were on this. There's a lot of other running vest options you can look for, but you definitely need something about 12 liters because essentially it's a running vest front and the back functions like a small backpack. My favorite features of this bag, one of them is the bungee cord on the sides of the bag. I would use those for any laundry that I needed to dry, but I also kept my rain jacket on the outside of my bag so I could grab it really easily. The back pocket that stretches was perfect for snacks, but also for my extra water bottle when I had a longer water carry. I didn't love the way the bag fit as much when I had the heavy water in the back. It was a bit heavy feeling, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I really liked carrying my water on the front because it distributed the weight of my bag pretty evenly on my body. So the front pockets carried water and I had all of my essentials that I needed right up front, such as my sunscreen and some more snacks. If you're a person who likes a water bladder, you can carry that in the back. I didn't do that on this one. I wanted to experiment with the bottles on the front and I actually really enjoyed the bottles on the front. Speaking of the bottles on the front, the bag comes with two 500 milliliter flasks. So I was able to have 1 liter of water on the front of my body, which is usually sufficient for almost every stage because there would be enough towns where I could fill up and I would just constantly be filling up these bottles. My only complaint is it's a little hard to get them back in the bag when the other parts of the pockets are full of other things. So it takes a little bit of shimmying down, but still I was always aware of the level of water I had. So I did enjoy that feature a lot. This is my extra bottle. It's the Catadine filter, the Be-Free, because this bottle crushes down. And that's because if I wasn't using it, I could just keep it smashed flat and kind of flat in my bag. And so I didn't have to use it all the time. I've had this for many, many, many years and the top kind of broke off. That's why there's a bunch of tape on this. You don't need a filtered bottle for the Camino. I've never had issues with water on the trail. This is just the collapsible bottle that I have. So I really enjoyed having an extra collapsible bottle. This is a liter, so I could have a maximum of 2 liters of water on me, which I needed for the day that we had 27 kilometers where there was nothing. So on the Camino Frances or something, you may not need this extra bottle. Clothing. So what did I wear on trail? Because the key to this packing list is 1 trail outfit, 1 town outfit, and just a few layers for the cold. That's it. So my shirt I wore to hike is a new one I'm trying out. I really, really loved this. It's from Jolly Gear, and this one is their triple crown button down. These types of shirts are marketed for thru hikers on the big trails in the United States. I think they work great for the Camino. So why did I like this? Thumb holes to protect my hands. So the extra long sleeves meant that I didn't need as much sunscreen on my hands. And then I could just cuff the shirt if I didn't want to wear the thumb holes like it was early morning or something. The button down was really nice for airflow. There's a couple pockets on the top, which I actually don't use these pockets. Shawn has the same shirt and he uses his pockets. I don't, partially because of the running vest. The other reason is I just don't use pockets on my shirts. You can tuck the hood under the collar for a little fancy wear. Honestly, on me, it doesn't look fancy. I look like a hiker. I love hiking in a hood, and I'll never go back to hiking hoodless because I was always sun protected with the hood, but also on cold mornings, had just a little bit extra layer there. The Jolly Gear hood even has a hole for your ponytail. Overall, I really, really love this Jolly Gear shirt. It dries really, really quickly. And if you're interested in any of the products that I'm talking about, there's a links for all of them in the description below. Some of these are affiliate links and some of them are not. So if you click through, you oftentimes are supporting our channel. Thank you. The bra I'm wearing is a sports bra style from Brandwin Merino Wool. I love merino wool. This is their new offering. It's a sports bra style, and I was trying it out versus their bralette style, which I usually use. And it's much thicker and way more supportive. I really enjoyed this bra. It was very comfortable. It looks good. It's got a cool new blue color. I think it'd be too hot for summer though, because it's much thicker than their bralette style. I really liked it because we had some very cold weather. It felt like another insulating layer almost. I also like that this bra is like pretty modest. So if I could like take off my shirt when I got to the albergue and like walk into the bathroom to take a shower, and I was pretty comfortable just wearing this bra. My underwear is also by Brandwin Merino, and it's just a basic black underwear, which you'll see more in my other part of the packing list. I always wear 2 pairs of socks when I hike. I have a pair of silk sock liners, and then I have a pair of merino wool socks from Darn Tough. Socks are very personal. I think that you should always have merino wool socks. Even when I'm soaking wet and my shoes are soaked through, my feet are actually pretty warm, and that's pretty important when you're hiking in some weather. I think that this system works great for me to prevent blisters. It's just something that I've done since I was a teenager, so I won't change something that already works for me. I tried out a new pair of shorts for this hike, and these ones are just from Decathlon, and I picked them because they have a really large pocket on the side so that I could put extra snacks in there if I needed to. And I only needed to do that on one day. And it was a little awkward and bulky, but I didn't crush the pastries that I bought, so that was nice. I like that they have a drawstring and they're elastic. That's always my criteria for shorts, is they have to be easy on and off so that I can like pee in the bushes really quickly. I had other shorts in the past that I still really enjoy, the Rab shorts that I wore in previous videos. And I would definitely kind of swap out rotation between these Decathlon ones and the Rab shorts. The key to a good short is just quick dry material and small. I like to hike in shorts because I get very hot easily. And if it rains, my shorts dry quicker than pants do. You'll notice I don't have rain gear in this video, like for my pants and bottoms. And part of it's just because I don't own any rain pants. And the other part is I just don't mind getting a little wet. So that's very personal, whether you want to hike in shorts or pants, but I typically hike in shorts. My shoes are the Ultra Lone Peak 8s. I think these are, whatever number they are. I love the Ultra Lone Peak. They're my favorite shoe by far. Once I started wearing these, everything became wonderful and beautiful. The really wide toe box is what you want to look for in a good hiking shoe, something that's going to give you a lot of space. I always get something that's like a half size to a size larger than my actual shoe size, so I have room for my feet as I go downhill, but also as they swell during the day. The Ultra Lone Peak are a 0 drop shoe, which is not for everyone. So if you're thinking about wearing these on a Camino and you're not used to a 0 drop, please don't switch right away. Take your time, wear them for many, 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 many months prior to going on the Camino. These are not waterproof at all. I stepped in a puddle and I just soaked through. The key is that when you get to the albergue, you can take the insoles out, put some newspaper in the shoe, and they'll dry out by the next day. So that's why I don't wear a waterproof or a Gore-Tex shoe, because a waterproof shoe won't dry if it gets wet. No, when it gets wet, your shoe will get wet. That's going to happen. Hat. I have this sun hat from Sunday Afternoons. I've had this for, I think, 5 years, and it's a great hat because I can fold it, tuck it into different pockets. So get yourself a good sun hat that you can use for years. I like this one specifically because the brim is so long, so it provides really good sun protection. And when I have the hood up and buttoned and like tied, I'm pretty covered. My rain jacket is the Patagonia Torrent Shell rain jacket. Had this for years. You need a good rain jacket. I prefer a jacket over a poncho because I get really sweaty. I can unzip the pits and then my legs can kind of breathe. Yeah, I get very wet on my lower half of my body, but my upper body, my torso, the important part of my core stays dry and warm. And again, I just rolled this up and stuck it on the outside of my bag, so it was always handy, but I wore this almost every morning hiking because it was very cold. This is my buff. It's a new one because it's been years since I have a new regular normal buff or boof or bufanda in Spanish. This little guy here is my favorite dude ever. He's the mascot from the Chacobeo 1993 Jubilee year. And his name is actually Pellegrin, I found out recently, but I call him Painty Face. My name is Painty Face. The buff is really good to cover your face if it's cold, on your neck when it's cold. Use it like a sweat rag. A million uses for a buff, headband. You need a buff no matter what packing list you're using. In my bag, these are the clothes that I had to change into at the end of the day when I got to the albergue and after I showered. I have a long sleeve t-shirt from Unbound Merino. I, again, love merino wool. It's my favorite fabric ever. And this shirt, I picked long sleeves because I knew we were going into cold weather. I was really glad I had the long sleeves. I slept in this shirt and I wore it in town. I never hiked in it, so it stayed a little cleaner, but still I washed it a few times. I really like Unbound Merino's products because they're really soft. I don't think they're necessarily like sturdy enough for the hiking part of the Camino, but I really like them for when I'm in town because I just feel really cozy. Pants. These are from Mountain Hardwear, Dynama 2 pants because they're the cropped length, which means they're normal pants on me. I'm only 5'1". I'm very small. So I wanted a pant that wasn't all this like extra length, which meant weight in my bag. I upgraded to these pants a few months ago because they're 100 grams lighter than some of my previous pairs of pants, which makes a big difference when you're just trying to cut weight in your bag. I don't think these pants are the sturdiest material, but I can still hike in them if I need to, which I did on some mornings when it was really cold, and then I would change into my shorts later. So I always like to pack a pair of pants that I can hike in case I want to wear it that way. So it's like 1 shorts, 1 pants. This is the Brandwin Merino bralette. Super comfy, my favorite bra, mine of choice. Merino wool, doesn't smell, doesn't itch. Love it. The Brandwin underwear that I have that's merino wool, I like the full coverage, and I bring 2 pairs of these, one to wear and one that is clean, because after I shower, I change into the clean pair and then I wear them to bed. This is like my pajama bottom. And then in the next morning, I'm already wearing my underwear and I hike in them. So essentially I'm like wearing them for 24 hours and changing them in the evening. In total, I have 2 pairs of socks. One I'm wearing, and then the second pair is in my bag. These are the same ones that I'm wearing. They're the Darn Tough crew length hiking sock, midweight wool, merino wool. You have 1 clean pair and you have 1 pair that you're wearing. And then you just, again, swap them in the evening because you're washing them every day. My sweater layer or midweight layer, this is a fleece from Colombia, and I have it because it's really lightweight. It's a little bulky. I'll show you how I packed it in a trick later. My sandals in a very gross looking plastic bag. These are the Z Trail sandals by Zero Shoes. I really like them. You might not. They're not for everyone. They do get a little slippery when they're wet, which is after the shower, and they take a bit of time to dry. But the reason I like them is they're lightweight, they're comfortable for me. I think they stay on my feet really well, so I can walk around town and do a bunch of exploring and give my other shoes a breather. I can also wear socks with them if it's cold. I kept them in a really lightweight plastic bag so that when they're dirty or damp sometimes, they wouldn't get the rest of my stuff in my bag dirty. I have small feet too. These are like a size 6 or 7, a US size. So it's possible to fit everything in the running vest, but I don't think it would be comfortable. So I added my trusty waist pack from REI. And I always had this on my waist because this is where my valuables lived. So even if I took the running vest off, this always stayed on my body because this is where my valuables live. So what are those valuables? The most important thing in the whole wide world as a pilgrim, my credential. And I kept it in a little plastic bag with a tiny, tiny, tiny pen. I have my wallet. This one is from Chums, and I like it because it has space for coins, which you need in Europe. I have chapstick with sunscreen. This is from Hurrah. I really like this one. Soap flakes, because sometimes there's no soap in the bathrooms. A lens cleaning cloth, because your lens is dirty and you want nice photos. Clean your camera lens. Finally, I kept my phone handy, easy to get. Toiletries. You really don't need much on the Camino. At least I don't. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know the ethos is decant, decant, decant. Always take something large and make it small. So this is just a little bag that I have from Fuji. I've had it for years. It's got 2 zippers, so I have 2 pockets. It has a little hook here so that I can clip it. Very important. I can clip it and hang it on things if I need to. Inside this bag, we have a travel toothbrush, floss pick, comb that expands out, my mouth guard. This is a partial bar of Dr. Bronner's soap, which I use to wash my body, my face, my hair, and my clothing. And it's in this Matador soap case, which I love because it allows the soap to dry even though it's closed. But it also has a clip so I can clip it to the outside of my bag so it could dry during the daytime when it was all wet and gooey from using it in the morning. Which you could do this with a plastic bag, but I think my soap lasts a lot longer since I've been switched to this little nifty piece of gear. A little Ziploc bag of toothpaste tabs. Just count out how many you need and bring that. I like a solid toothpaste because it's lighter weight. It's a personal choice. This is my moisturizer. It's a solid moisturizer from some brand I found in Spain. My natural deodorant, which I decanted into a small tin. A plastic bag with some Q-tips or ear swabs because I hate wet ears and I wear hearing aids, so I need to dry my ears off after I shower. Nail clippers, a few bobby pins, and a hair tie that's extra. The smallest tin of muscle rub, my chapstick that is for nighttime, which does not have sunscreen, my decanted lavender oil in this little spritz tube that I found. Only use a little lavender oil. Try not to like get it all over the albergue, but I really like spritzing just a little bit on my eye mask so that nice smell at night. A few more things that are not in my toiletry bag is the Kula cloth, which is a pee rag. Essentially, it clips on the outside of your bag. All people who squat to pee should have some kind of pee rag. I like the Kula cloth because the way it snaps, you can easily hang it on your bag and let it dry, or you could snap it closed and it still gets some airflow to dry. It has like an antimicrobial thing on it so that it doesn't get smelly. You just wash it every day in the sink when you get in, but you don't have to carry around a bunch of toilet paper and then pack it out. You can just use this and don't be part of the problem of litter on the trail. Hand sanitizer that hangs on my bag. Various sunscreens. These 2 are tins from All Good. One is white zinc and the other one is a tinted zinc. I love the tinted zinc on my face and the white zinc sticks so well. I like to use it on sensitive areas of the skin like my neck and my hands. This is just a regular sunscreen that I keep refilling this little bottle, and I use this for my legs, so like to slather it all on. Sun protection. A face mask. You never know. First aid. This is where I minimized a little bit. Everything in my hand is a first aid. So what's in this? Ibuprofen, a bag of lamb's wool compressed with an extra hair tie. Lamb's wool is what I like to use for blisters. If you don't know what it is, I've explained it a lot in other videos. Also known as hiker's wool. This Ziploc bag has everything else. I have some kinesiology tape, sports medicine tape, and a little pair of scissors for cutting it. I think next time I'm just gonna cut this in strips and not bring the scissors so I can save even more weight. A couple Band-Aids, various stomach medicines like an antidiarrheal and an antacids, Tums, Pepto-Bismol, and Imodium. I have one allergy medicine in case I have a lot of allergies, and then I could get to a pharmacy and buy more if I need to. Safety pins, a little sewing kit. And that's all, because if I really needed something else, I'm a cab ride away from a town with an open pharmacy. And now everything else in my bag. Sunglasses. These are from News because they go really small and fit very well in your bag. My really tiny washcloth sized towel on a carabiner clip. Yeah, I used this for the whole 2 weeks. The reason I like the small one is because when it's wet in the morning after washing my face, I can hang it on my bag really easily and it dries very quickly. Versus the bigger towel, it doesn't hang on my bag as well. It kind of flaps around a lot, or it's like bunched up and doesn't dry as easily. Pros and cons, the small one is kind of hard to dry yourself with. You're like kind of using it like a squeegee. I don't know, it's 2 minutes of just like kind of cold shivering, like dry yourself off for a very tiny thing.
Terrible. I don't agree. I think a full-size towel is worth it. Leave this in the video.
My charging brick and cable. This is an Anker 30-watt fast charger. Everyone needs a fast charger for the Camino. I brought one sheet of solid laundry detergent because sometimes I've needed this to wash clothes in a washer. This time the places that had washers all had soap, so we didn't need this. My new favorite piece of gear ever. Thank you, Sarah. This is the Hero clip. It looks like a normal carabiner, but it's not. It opens up into a hook, and I use this to hook my bag on things, so I would hang it. I use this to hang my toiletry bag in the bathrooms. It's just also a really good sturdy carabiner. I would use it to hook my hat sometimes to my bag when I wasn't wearing it, or my hiking poles to my bag when I wasn't using them. Hiking poles, I love them. You should love them too. They're awesome. Eye mask and possibly earplugs if you need them. This is my sleep sack. It is a silk sleep sack liner, sleeping bag liner. I use the blankets at the albergues when I was cold at night, but you always need something between you and the other sheets. So I like the silk one because it's really lightweight and small. It's not the most comfortable because it doesn't stretch, but I think it makes up for that in the size and weight that I'm carrying. My vest is not waterproof. So in the rain, the vest gets very wet. So everything inside I keep in dry bags. I have one 3-liter dry bag and one 5-liter dry bag. Oh, look, it's 8 liters. It doesn't add up to the total of the vest. Yay. That's kind of the point. These did an awesome job. They're from Sea to Summit. They're super lightweight, worth the price. None of my stuff got wet. I had no issues. I also use these to kind of compress all of my clothes. A little tricky to get the air out because it's not a compression bag, but I'll show that to you when I pack this bag for you. These are accessories for my hearing aids, which you probably won't need, but maybe this for you is contact lens solution or eyeglass things or some other object for the bathroom. Essentially, this is an old pharmaceutical like pill bottle that I turned into my dehumidifier case because they get really moist and damp hiking in them and you need to get rid of the moisture. So every night I would put my hearing aids in this. This is like the case I used. And then this bag just has some of my extra batteries and cleaning supplies. My house keys, just bring like this most stripped down set you can. Obviously you need to get back into your home when you're done walking. Lastly, we have some snack stuff because yeah, there were snacks in my bag. So, you know, this is just an example of like 2 snacks that we really like to have, which are like rice cakes with chocolate covered ones. These be really surprised. They always fit in the front pocket of my vest. So there's lots of space for snacks. I don't have any wiggle room to like put a lot of stuff in here, but maybe that's a good thing. I can't just hoard snacks for days. And I have one extra Ziploc bag to like organize anything, or if I needed to keep something extra waterproof. 1 spoon, fork, fanoon, knife thing, and 2 travel hacks, special for you for the Camino. Always have some instant coffee on hand. You never know when you really need this. I started using these gloves that they have at all the grocery stores in Spain to like grab your produce, and I would use the gloves as like my trash bag for the day. I would use it to waterproof like food I was snacking on. Instead of bringing a bunch of bags, you could just use these plastic gloves. It sounds crazy, but it works so well. And that is everything that I had with me for the Camino de Madrid. My husband, Shawn, he carried a couple extra things that we both used, but that was filming gear stuff, except our knife. He carried our knife that I used to cut cheese and bread. But Shawn had all of our filming gear stuff this time, and typically I carry a little bit more of that. So it was really nice that this time he had it. Okay, now we're ready to pack the bag and weigh it. So with my poles and waist pack and a little bit of water and a couple snacks, this weighs 3.8 kilograms, which is 8.4 pounds. The actual weight of my bag with a little water, a couple snacks, but no waist pack and no poles is 2.85 kilograms, which is 6.3 pounds. So what did I eliminate from my packing list to go from 24 liters down to 12 liters? First off, my 24-liter bag was never full, so I'm not taking 12 liters out of my bag. This bag back here is the one I previously used and will still use in some of the future Caminos. It's the Usui 24-liter Hiker Pro. I love that bag. It's really waterproof. It's really comfortable. It fits my small torso really well, but it's kind of heavy compared to an ultralight bag. It weighs 1.3 kilograms, which is, like 1,300 grams. So that is a lot heavier than my 250-gram running vest. I was just thinking of how do I cut weight so that I don't have to worry about so many knee problems that I sometimes have with tendonitis. One way was to eliminate the weight of the actual bag. And that not just was restricting my space, but the actual material. This is everything else that I took out of my bag that I usually bring, or some luxury items I sometimes bring. So how much weight is this? 701 grams. So I took out about 1.5 pounds of just stuff that was in my bag. Some of these things I'll actually bring though in the future, such as our better tripod. Tripod alone is 210 grams, and I love this thing because it's so easy and it expands tall. Unless you're a maker or a creator, you do not need a tripod on the Camino, and I don't suggest you bring one. If you really wanted something, you could take this really small one that Shawn now has. Ta-da! It's great. It magnets to the phone and it only weighs 91 grams. So you're saving quite a lot to go from this big one to the small one. But because we like the height of this one, we're actually gonna bring it again in the future. And I think I'll be able to fit it in the pocket in the front of the running vest. This is a second pair of sock liners that are silk. I did not bring these to save space. I just wore the same ones every day and washed them every day. Travel journal, typically I'd bring something about this small, and this time I took my travel journal on my phone and I typed it into a Google Doc. My snack bag, which is insulated. I love this especially for summer, but it's really bulky, so it didn't make the cut. My knee braces. I've been working really hard on some different strengthening exercises, so I thought if I really needed a knee brace, I could buy one at the pharmacy, and I didn't need them. Extra hiking pole tips. Didn't bring them. A reusable tote bag. Instead, I just used a plastic bag, and I just kept reusing that. A packable clothesline. This thing is awesome, but a luxury item. Headlamp. I don't like walking in the dark, so the one time we did, I just used my phone and I just put it in my waist pack to like shine light in front of me. A packing cube for organization. I switched these out to the dry bags instead. An extra carabiner. And now these are 3 things that I swapped out with smaller items. Lavender oil went from kind of bulky and heavy to tiny and slim. Hearing aid case went from very bulky to smaller and slimmer. And the towel. I mean, this is so much larger. I could fit it, but that's taking away space for my bocadillos, which do fit in the vest. They're way different. This is in my palm. I can't get this smashed in my palm. And sometimes I actually bring both towels on Caminos. So, taking 2 of these and just changing it into one, that does make a big difference. So that is how I packed in a 12-liter running vest for a 14-day Camino. I would totally do it again. I loved the challenge. Remember, it's not for everyone. Just because I did it, I have a lot of Camino experience. I think that was our 11th Camino. Doesn't mean you should go out and go buy yourself a running vest right now. But if you think you can go minimal for a while, go for the challenge. You got this. Just be comfortable wearing the same thing over and over again and forego a tiny bit of comfort items. You're gonna be fine. Just remember to stay safe, to have enough water and food and emergency supplies with you and layers in case it gets too cold. So if you have any questions for me, please put them in the comments, as well as check out our series on the Camino de Madrid, which is linked above. I have links for almost all of the things that I can think of that I described to you in the description below. Thank you so much, pilgrims, for spending your day with me. And buen camino.
Hello, Bella Green. Are we going on the Camino? Yes, we are. I'm